Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the Formpro Heads Up podcast for another week. Neil's with us here today. Neil, pretty chilly outside down here in the CD. I'm sure in the
Yeah.
warmer climes up north, you're 15 degrees and in shorts and jandals that we can't
Oh,
see below the screen.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I was out walking my dog this morning and it was hands in pockets weather and we survived it. So it's good to do the heads up and warmer heaters, warmer room. Yeah, yeah.
We'll crack into it. Last week, New Plymouth, you had a few thoughts on the racing there. It was a very much leaders dominated day with six winners being in front from about the 800 onwards.
Yeah.
Uh, what are your thoughts?
Well, when you first saw the first race, you think, oh, it was good chance leaders bias. And I saw Bolt win the second race, and it was obvious then that the inside was the place to be and on pace and leading. So I was really keen on Zanzibar. Then I was more keener when I saw that. So that was a good win. Then I walked the track. What's today? Friday, Wednesday. I was down there seeing mate, and I walked the track. The inside 2 meters was definitely firmer than the outside, and I feel that that was the advantage. Just to get on there, it was better going. You had no chance of out wider. There's only one race. And there's better quality horses in the big race. They just led and won. Shelby Rockin was a good bet in the last race when he was a map to lead with a few other on pace runners, but it was a crazy. What was your take on the bias anyway?
Well, obviously, leaders were winning. We can't disagree with that. But
Yeah, yeah.
talking to a few of the jockeys that rode,
Oh yeah,
basically, half the horses weren't handling the ground even after 400 metres. It was
yeah,
that testing.
yeah.
So they were never going to make up ground. Now, on heavy, heavy tracks, and we did indicate on the podcast last week, it was the highest moisture meter reading. So punters
Yeah.
hopefully picked up that it was going to be as heavy as you'll get.
Mm,
We did also suggest up and in based on rail position.
mm.
But I just think the best horses were handling the ground, and they were in front for the majority of the races, and the others didn't have the ability to get past them in that testing stuff. So yeah, I wasn't too upset. I wasn't as upset as you, to be fair, Neil.
I wasn't really upset.
Sometimes, sometimes punters have to do a bit more of their own homework and can't rely on track managers to tell them what's going to happen. That's not necessarily the track manager's job. So
Yeah,
I think that's an advantage because also the bookies then have to they might not have the same foresight to understand these likely trends on the day as well. So
yeah.
as you found out with Zanzibar, you made a nice little killing off it. So
Yeah, it's I watched a couple of Melbourne track reports from the track manager, and they were giving where the best ground was out wide in the Crown, and it was really interesting. It was really good to know, and it'd be good to have something like that. We had used to have track reports from the track managers, and they used to say whether it was going to be inside and outside, which was good. Um, if we had more of that, especially during winter when the tracks are so inside, outside, and OTAG is going to be an interesting case tomorrow. Um, just get the information out there and let punters decide for themselves. It's a no-brainer to me. Mm. Anyway, anyway, we're going to OTAG tomorrow. We've got
Jackie tomorrow. Well, we
yeah,
will be on a heavy 10 again, and it will be extremely puggy with no rain in the last 7 or 8 days there. I would expect the times to be similar to the meeting on the Tuesday, a couple of weeks back.
yeah. They were going
Maybe what was it?
119. They were going 119.95. Testing is a good horse. There's a 120, so I reckon they go 118ish or one. They've had plenty of fine weather, haven't they? So
Yeah, but it could be even more puggy. I'd say
yeah,
about the same. I'd say about
okay.
120.
Yeah, it's going to be a testing
The
track, all right.
moisture meter readings similar to that meeting the other Tuesday. So it will be testing. It will be survival of the fittest. And obviously the 2-year-olds is an interesting race, the Ryder Stakes.
Yeah, well, interesting. This meeting last year, exactly this meeting last year, they, well, Papa Jack was racing in the second race, wasn't he? And he led on the rail, then came out wide and won well. And so did Faravello in race 3 or 4. They came out, he led on the rail, came right to the outside fence and won. So what are they going to do? They're going to stick to the inside early on, come out wide? We'll wait and see. Can be
I'll
interesting.
say they'll stick to the inside for the first couple of races,
Okay.
and then they will get very wide by probably race 5 or 6 to
Okay.
avoid the ground
Oh
that
yeah.
they kind of chopped up
Mm.
at that meeting, which was rails out 6. So
Yeah, that
I
makes
think by
sense.
race
Mm.
5 or 6, it'll be getting towards the outside. But ultimately, it will be the horse that can handle the ground, regardless of where they're running, I would suggest,
Yeah.
will be winning. And you need to tell us, though, who that horse will be, Neil.
Well, it seems obvious to me. I like Spandido, but on a inside biased track, but I can't see how Platinum Diamond can get beaten. He's won his last two. She's won her last two really well. And the thing is, she changed legs about within the 100 meter marker and really accelerated nicely off there to win well. And I just think she'll get out wide. She can really put in late and out wide. And I think 320 and 360 on boosted. She's a really good bet.
Yeah, a lot of good judges thought she should have been the favourite in this race. I guess my only
Mm.
question mark is the 5 weeks between runs. But I'm sure the stable will have a cherry ripe for the assignment on
Mm.
Saturday. I thought the improver, well, doesn't need to improve too much as reconvene. It's been running good
Yeah,
races. I think it's getting close to a win as well. So it does look like the top three in the book. Uh,
yeah, yeah.
but
Looks like it. Yeah,
hey, you never know, do you?
yeah. That Spandido. I think she was. He was helped last time. It was helped last time by the wide turning Hara track that Wanganui tied a track. I was around and went wide there, and I think it's going to be interesting to watch it race how she race. I think he'll go forward and be on the pace, but Platinum Diamond will be fifth or sixth and get out wide, and Bruno will make sure he's in the right place. And I think home will roll. Okay,
Right. Well, that's
right.
the right of stakes.
Okay.
The Open Handicap, race 6, the 1100 sprint. You mentioned Faravello earlier. It won this race last year, and it's in again tomorrow. Has probably been a shade disappointing in its 3 runs to date, well, especially the last two when it's been favourite or close to it and hasn't delivered. But I would say it should be getting close to winning this.
Yep, I agree. The blinkers go on. That's a big plus, and I think it'll make all the difference. I went for Waihaha Falls, but on a 114 track, it's going to be a 119, 120 track, I think, as you say. And I think she'll struggle in that ground. So I think Faravello sit outside the leader, come wide, and be hard to beat again. One on the track, one of that's meeting last year, all ticks a lot of the boxes. So, yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, well, there'll be a bit of pace on in this race.
Definitely, yeah.
Fleet, Amin, Caitlin's Wish, all like to lead. Faravello likes to be handy.
Yeah,
Wouldn't totally, yeah, it'll be an
Kate,
interesting race, but I think Faravello's probably the way to go in that.
yeah, Caitlin's also been interesting. She's got a lead, I think, but it's going to be hard work getting around Amended and Faravello. So I think she'll get caught wide or be content. Um, Rainer didn't, I think, won at this meeting or on a heavy track there. And it's sat three, I think it was this meeting last year. Yeah. It sat
Yes,
three
so
wide in the open. Sorry?
I reckon it was 2 years ago.
It could have been. It sat three
It
wide,
was.
then came
Yeah.
wide. Okay. It sat three wide in the open, came wide and stalled one. So Caitlin's will be happy to sit three wide in the open, I think. So Faravelli with the blinkers going on must be hard to beat, I think.
You were both right. It won last year and 2 years ago at this meeting. So
Okay.
it's going for the hat
Yeah.
trick on Ryder Stakes Day.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that'll be a good little result. And actually, Jim Chung rode them rode. him both times, and he's on again. So they're both going for the hat trick. So might be one to keep an eye out on as
Hmm.
to rein it in. The
Hmm.
stablemate
Hmm.
of Farabello.
Yeah. Oh well. We got done by half a point last week in the All Blacks game. Bugger.
Lions game.
Lions, yeah, Lions All
Yeah,
Blacks Australia game. Yeah.
yeah.
We going for one this week?
I'm going to tip one that most people won't be happy with. I think the Titans are a great chance
Ooh.
against the Warriors. The Warriors were bloody lucky to win that game last week,
I was
and I think
never in doubt. Yeah.
I was happy they won. But
Yeah.
you look at how many easy tries the Knights butchered, especially making inroads down that right side defence of the Warriors. The Titans will have noticed that. Des Hasler's 500th game, coming off a poor loss last week, which in a game they probably should have won.
Mm.
They'll be fired up, want to play. Warriors might be a bit complacent after that win last week. So I'm very confident the Titans will push the Warriors. Could win, but the safe bet is the plus 11 and a half at $1.90. I think
190.
they've won about four of their last five too against the Warriors. So it's a team that they don't seem to have too many fears of the Titans. So one outside the square this week, Neil.
No, I think you're right. When the Warriors win, like you say, they do win, just win. A lot of their wins are 12 points and under. And I think the Titans, like I say, there's Hasler, 500 the game, etc. And Warriors tend to um, be a bit off the game when they come back from a great win. They think they're God Almighty, and then the Titans can come in and sweep on them. So maybe even to win outright. What are they paying outright? For,
$3.75 if you want to
oh,
be bold.
yeah, there's a few wild punters out there, I'm sure. So yeah, get on the Titans. I agree, actually. Yeah, let's see. Okay. Um, Anything else you want to talk about? Not.
A bit of viewer feedback, a few issues that we can cover off. I know people were querying about the databases of like Sire and Jockey and all those type of things, which I think you directed them to
Yeah,
racingandsports.com.au.
yeah, I use that.
The
Yeah,
TAB confirmed that they would have less than 100 downloads a week on that on those PDF pages. Hence, well, that was one of the reasons why they haven't continued them. But with the change of software to it, is a bit tricky.
yeah,
Uh, and I know the rail position at Taranaki. If you notice, it was out 4 meters, which is actually as
yeah.
it doesn't go in any further than 4 meters. So they'll get that change to call that the true,
Good.
even though it's 4 meters out from the old where they've put in some new sprinkler heads. That's why it doesn't go in any
Yeah,
more than
yeah,
4 meters. So just a couple of things that will get tidied up.
yeah.
And another little teaser for you. I'm hearing in terms of the punter's promise
Mm.
for in the next 4 weeks or so, they will be announcing a few upgrades, and one of them could well be at the moment you can bet to win $2,000 on New Zealand racing. On New Zealand Saturday racing, I'm hearing that might be lifted to 5,000. So you can have a decent
Oh,
crack on a horse, and they can't restrict you. So that's a positive.
yeah, that's good news. Is that coming in soon? I presume, is it? Or
Oh, they'll announce it probably in the next 3 or 4 weeks.
okay, yeah, that's good news. One topic we could just mention briefly now was our old whip roll.
Oh
The
no.
We can touch on it next week if you like, but all they've got to do is disqualify a horse for blatantly breaking the rules, and they won't do it again.
That is an absolute joke. You cannot be serious. A horse wins by 10 lengths
No, by
and the rider
nose.
hit it one extra time. Oh, so no. So
I
so hold
know.
on.
And a
Now
group
you're
one.
saying
Yeah.
if you break the rule, then it's dependent on how much it won by.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
If in the
So
steward's
so
opinion,
then you gotta then you also if it wins by a length
yeah,
and it's one hit,
yeah,
or is it two hits over? And then you got to go firm track, heavy track, where the hits took place. How can you consistently work that?
it's the same
Impossible.
for any inquiry. It's subjective. If in the steward's opinion, the horse would have won if the breaking the rule would have stopped it from winning. And what's the rule again?
You do then
Yeah.
if every horse breaks the rule.
No,
In a
no,
Group One,
not,
every jockey breaks the rule in a Group One, so no one gets paid any money.
no, no,
Every horse broke the rule.
no. Which race?
Yeah, I'm just saying in future,
Well,
if
if
in a Group One race every jockey broke the rule, who wins?
that'd be no race. I don't know.
Oh, really?
I'm saying in a
Oh,
tight finish in the Auckland Cup or Livermore final of Livermore
yeah.
2000 meter head to head, a jockey blatantly breaks the rule and wins the race by a nose. Would you be content for this if you own the second horse who stuck to the rules? Would you be content if the horse was hit behind the on the rump, above the shoulder, and everything? The jockey gave it heaps and blatantly broke the
That
rule.
make it go faster though.
Well, and
Like
the
most
jockey,
people you talk to, if you hit them on
what?
the flank, it actually slows them down.
Well, why do jockeys hit the horse in the rump then? Why don't they stick to the rules and hit it less than
Ah,
no consecutive strikes? Anyway, we can discuss it more next week if you want to.
we can, but
Yeah, I'll
until
never
someone
convince.
comes up with a clear alternative, um, I can't have it. Sorry.
Okay, well,
Now,
one day you might see a light. Okay, it's a
well,
good
yeah,
talking point anyway.
the talking point should probably go back. No, I won't say that.
Yeah,
I won't say that. I'll get in trouble for saying that.
yeah,
No, it is a talk. I just think the stewards have got enough to dissect. There's an inquiry probably every 20, 30 races, I'd guess, at most, maybe more, 50 races.
yeah,
And yes, there's obviously it's subjective, but as we know, people's people get very upset when inquiries happen and either they don't get changed or they do get changed and it alienates people. If you're bringing in more and more inquiries on whip rules, uh, opening up a
yeah.
big can of worms, in
Good
my
point.
opinion.
Good point. It is a good point, but it needs to be something done about it because you
But
know,
there is something done. The jockeys get fined.
not enough. They need to be fined their full riding fee plus another riding fee. It's a double, and you really give them the incentive not to break the rule. Just simple as that. You have a really bad deterrent in place, so they can count to five or before the 100 meter mark, etc. How do they stop it? How do they stop jockeys from breaking the rule? They've got to disqualify them, and they've got the only way they can do
Then
it.
who does that affect? That doesn't worry the jockey that much.
Yeah, I suppose so, but what's
It's
what's
the
the
punter and
solution?
the owner that's
Yeah,
affected.
yeah. What's the solution? I
Right.
don't know.
Well, the solution is jockeys get fined. Horses don't get disqualified. What we have at the current.
Well, it's obviously not enough because they keep on doing it.
They don't keep on doing it. There's probably the odd occasion, but you go through the last. Uh, well, I'll do an exercise off the top of my head. What I think there's 18 or 19 Group One races in New Zealand
Yeah.
last season. I'll predict three jockeys who won those races breached whip rules. What's
Okay.
your prediction?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know the number. I could be completely wrong.
I don't know. Even if it's one and it gets beaten by a nose for a Group One race, the second place horse sticks to the rules. The rider, the winner, breaks the rules.
Is if it's
And
if it's hitting two consecutive strides,
mm.
how much is that worth? If it's six hits before the 100, and how much is that worth in a finish?
But why is he or she doing it? They're doing it because they want the horse to give extra, so it's got the extra by breaking the rule. So that should be enough to for the judges, the stipes to take into account. Okay, then it's up
Then
for
then
them to
that
decide.
relates. So then you're admitting that the whip can help.
It does,
So
yeah.
you aren't in favour of getting rid of the whip altogether,
I'm in favour of riders carrying the whip for safety reasons and guidance. The horse is running out like
but not to encourage them to compete harder.
uh, yeah, I'm against that. I'm against whip. The whip has to go, except for the whip can be carried and used only for
Why does the
guidance and
whip have to
safety.
go? Why does the whip have to go?
Because all every young most young people, whenever a whip is seen to be whacked on a horse, it gets in social media, and we've got to protect racing. It's like greyhound racing; they were too slow to um, change the tracks and have straight tracks, and they're paying the penalty now. If we don't ban the whip or just have it for safety reasons without striking the whip, um, the future
Okay.
of racing is
If we ban the whip, if
yeah.
we ban the whip,
Mhm.
will those people that don't like the whip go, good, now racing can continue. We won't have any issues with horse racing whatsoever. We'll let it be. There'll be no more protesters. There'll be no anti-social media lead up to the Melbourne Cup because they're no longer whipping the horses. Or will they still want horse racing banned?
Probably not. They will still
Exactly.
carry on.
So
Yeah.
why are we pandering to these people?
Um, I put it this way: if someone came in from outside and came in and whipped my dog, they wouldn't the last 5 seconds. That's the way I see it. Why whip animals to encourage them to go
Do you eat
faster?
meat?
Huh?
Do you eat meat?
You thought, oh, well, that's really now. No, I'm a flexitarian.
No, saying, well, why
Yeah.
kill cows?
Yeah, but they're to eat. They're to eat. But we produce food
Is
to eat.
horses there? Aren't horses thoroughbreds bred to race?
Yes, they are. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I know what you're getting at. Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
I'm sure that's created more than enough content for people to be having a
Yeah,
big crack at it
yeah,
at both of us.
yeah, yeah. Oh, well, we'll
All
see
good,
what
mate.
happens. Okay, okay.
I'll
Right.
head off to Waverley and you enjoy your Friday and have
Yeah.
a nice big steak for dinner tonight on me.
I will. I will. I will. Okay. See you later. Bye.
See you, mate.